Kawasaki, a KTM, a Yamaha, 2 Kawasaki's actually. We've got the 300 and the 400, and believe it or not, the 300 is more competitive than the 400, and that's the whole story about the Lambs Approved motorcycle as well. Let's see how Hamish is, how jubilant is he feeling after the last race. Has he had to go back to the pits and put any gas in? Did he carry enough gas from the last race? He's doing 2 back-to-back, so he is a busy man. That's the Hamish Fox we're talking about. He just smoked them up in the Lambs production and Clubman's class, and there he is going with the best of them as they go through turn number 2 here at Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park, and he's already in second place as we check out the pace out there of young Jesse. I think it's Jesse Stroud that's got the advantage. So looking at Jesse, Hamish. Now what's the difference between...
That's Blake Ross has taken 2 places under the corner.
And
he blew it.
He blew it, absolutely blew that. In fact, he's nearly gone back to 5th, hasn't he? Yeah, he made a bit... Oh, I don't know what happened. He sort of just had a dab and then realised he had to go in with a little bit of late braking and didn't... Oh, he's got 4th though. He's back into 4th. Hasn't lost too much. All right on that. But I'll tell you what, as we watch this, Jesse getting that advantage out in front, had... a good run in race number 1 until he dropped it late in the race, and Blake Ross was there, and then he was leading race number 2, and then something went wrong that we missed, and then as Dennis had pointed out, we think he must have had a braking problem, and then he finished up back in 3rd place. So for all his good efforts and like leading as he's done at the moment, and led for a number of laps during either race 1, 2 or now 3, but he hasn't yet had a win.
Hamish.
Oh, again that man. Yeah, there it is. It's right as Dennis is picking up. This is Hamish Fox again. Get used to this name, folks, because he's going to be that name by nature, isn't he? He's a fox. He's been sort of hunting with the foxes, isn't he? Because that's some cunning he showed out there. That's good work. Now, remember in Connor's speech when he came up here, I've been teaching him racecraft. He was disappointed in race 1 because he couldn't quite stay with him. These other 3 got away from him. Now that it's the boot on the other foot, they're having trouble keeping up with him. Hamish Fox, this is incredible. No fluke in that last one whatsoever. The man doing the moving and proving and the learning today must be the fox himself. It is Hamish out in front. Well done. And the others, oh, there he goes again to that late braking from young Blake. Oh, Blake. No, can't quite go with him. We've got all 5 of them there again this time. So nice to see, Dennis, that we're actually going to create a bigger one. This is this young man, Caleb Gilmore again, this young sensation from the Jixer Cup. Rounds 1, 2 and 3 in the Jixer Cup, he was unheard of. He never made a podium. By the time we hit round 4 and then 5 here for the final, he made 2 out of the 3 of them for the day. Look at the improvement that he's made today as well. He was well off the pace in those earlier 2 races. Now he's hunting with them.
Didn't I tell you before the meeting even started, these guys are going to be all elbows and knees?
Yeah.
And it's happening out there.
And wasn't it the other story that you mentioned as well? This will be our class of the day to watch. Why? Because they're all the young guns with no fear and everything to gain.
Correct. And they're not letting me down.
Yeah, indeed, we're watching some great racing. Hope you're seeing as well. Loud Proud on Ctas Live. Let's go racing. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit of a gap back to the 5. Caleb just dropping off a fraction. In fact, 1.8 seconds. But then you go Hamish in front by 0.217. Then the next margin is 0.4. You get the idea. Super close, tight and exciting as we watch this quartet. In fact, we might go all the way with Caleb up there and round it out to a top 5 as well. Hamish, Jesse, Jacob and Blake. Blake's the one now. Let's watch Blake again. He seems to think he can get through on the inside. Will he do it late? Demon run. There is he. Has another go. Does it pay off? Oh, not quite. Man, he must be getting close to those other riders. I think those other riders must fear him. He's got a beautiful line up there, but he just can't pull it off.
Unfortunately, I think he's going just that fraction too fast. And I'm quite amazed that he's actually not losing and riding into a rider. Yeah, usually when someone goes in too far, they roll out, and he's not touching those guys.
Not at all, but I tell you what, maybe it's just a psychological thing, but it's putting a hell of a lot of pressure on them. And just in saying that, look at that, see, he's had to drop right back. So as much as it's an advantage at the time, it then proves to be a disadvantage. But it takes the rest of the race to catch up with him again. Great to watch. Hamish Fox, is he doing it? Yes, indeed. On this Lambs motorcycle, this Kawasaki Z400, it's on fire at the moment, and so is this brand new man, Hamish Fox. And he's out-foxed the competition right here at the moment. Fox to go. Stroud and behind him. Jacob versus Jesse. And then looking back to Blake Ross, and then going to Caleb Gilmore, another big mover and prover of our day. Look at this net. Now
Jesse were on the outside there, was it Jacob?
Oh, Jacob's been...
Jacob had tried to do one of his famous rounds. No, it was Jesse.
Oh.
No, sorry, that's Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob, he's done plenty. He's done plenty of them in the past that have been successful. He's done a couple today, one of which was a perfect execution.
As I say, Hamish is listening, and Jacob couldn't go around the outside. Jesse does it to him.
Now, so there's Blake, but he didn't have anybody his way, and he tried it. Look at the ground he's made. He's going to maybe slip up into 3rd place. Will he get there? Yes, he is. Good work indeed. So Blake Ross moving into 3rd place. Great to see. In fact, look at Hamish. Hamish Fox has gone out wide on the corner, and that's just left a little bit of a gap there. So I think it's going to be Jacob or Jesse that'll make the move to come through. Oh, no. In fact, no, still there with Hamish. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it said, something there is. Yeah, I think Dennis, you're spot on the mark. There is something not right out there with that bike. I don't. But that's not Jesse Stroud we're watching. That's something with his bike, because if it was Jesse, he wouldn't have been so hero or zero, so stop start. Here we are, ready to watch as they come down towards the lap score line once again here at Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park. Let's Go Racing. Hamish Fox out in front, then go to Blake Ross. Now looking out to Jesse Jacob, or I think they're that way around, are they? I think it's going to be when we pick them up. Let's take a look again on the corner. No, it's Caleb. That's Caleb. Caleb on the it's Caleb on the black and white gear. Of course it is. Caleb Gilmore, this young man. I tell you what, when he sits in those leathers, you actually think it's sort of like almost like a small man inside a big man's clothing. And I said, who did you borrow your gear? I said, oh no, it's mine. I'm going to grow into it. I'm thinking, wow, he's such a tiny pocket rocket, and look what he's able to do. So now here we go. So this is Jesse that's just dropped right off.
This is Jesse running right, just going into a turn.
Yeah, so something definitely wrong, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, well, I hope they can sort that out. All part of his learnings.
That's starting to come on song again. He's up in second.
Oh, Caleb Gilmore, take a bow. He's another one that's improved so much. Good. Another Gixxer Cup man, as Blake was, of course, as Jesse still is. In fact, if you look at this year's Gixxer alone, you've got two of them, both Jesse and Caleb, have both been in the Gixxers this year. So not to be confused with another Caleb, of course, because we've got Caleb Stroud who's joined us. So Caleb Stroud, Caleb Gilmore, they both ended up on the podium this year in our Gixxer Cup racing. But here we are, Kawasaki road race today, and the Kawasaki hero of the day, Hamish Fox, coming around here towards the lap score line, and a white flag is waving. Yes, indeed, we're going to have one to go in the run. This is great to watch. Fox in front, then go back to the fight going on there with Blake Ross. And I'll tell you what do you reckon? What are the chances of Caleb Gilmore getting to second? Can he get past Blake Ross with a lap to go? Dennis, what are your chances?
It's actually Caleb has actually dropped back to fourth now. It's actually Jacob Stroud in third place.
Oh, okay, so let's pick that up. Yes, it is. Thank you. Well corrected, and it's deserved of that too. They've all got white and black leathers on. It's just where they are. And they've all got dark bikes as well, except Blake. So we can pick up Blake because he's on the lighter coloured bike. But when they're all over there, you got three. Ooh, look how. Oh, Blake, is that Blake?
Blake's still in second.
Blake's still there in second. Oh, I tell you what, look out. Oh, man, was that close or what? He got right in on the tail there, and luckily Hamish didn't allow go.
It's going to be all on here now. The two, this is playing into Hamish's hand, because Jacob and Blake are going to fight it out now.
Yes, indeed, and what that's allowing, as Dennis is pointing out, is the fact that Hamish Fox has just got, I'd say, an extra bike length in there, isn't he? In fact, there's your silhouette coming down past Mount Tahara there as we look at them coming into the SBN for the final time here, and it is the green bike. It's Hamish Fox that's got the advantage in the front. Then going back to the next bike fight, and we're going to look out between the Caleb here and Blake. Blake, is it going to be Blake? Blake to hang on. Oh, Jacob.
Hanging out over the fence.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Hamish, Jacob Stroud from Blake Ross and Caleb Gilmore. Man, they changed so much in there, and look at the excitement from that four. They are fantastic. Connor, how was that, eh? Fantastic. Let's, folks, if you take an opportunity, if you're going to say to anybody any good news today, go past Hamish Fox and say, well done. You may not know him from a bar of soap, but certainly extend your congratulations. That was exceptional. I'm heading to those pits after this race meeting today. That's where I want to be, to find out what was the secret for this guy today. Is this an ad for the Weet-Bix? Did he get Weet-Bix when he woke up? Or what did you do on a day like this?
Well, I'd like to know maybe it's not breakfast. What did they get in for lunch?
Lunch. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, and amongst all of that, again, folks, just to point out, we've got our 250 production class. We look at our Super Sport 300s, and they take so much of the credit because they're the more powerful bikes, so they get the more powerful result to go with it. We go back to Carl Hooper, who's done it again, ahead of Derek Kattenberg, from Lauren May, Alex Butson in there with a double heading with his class today, Chris Smith in there along with Ben Dyson. So other 250 production riders, Andrew Sainsbury, and looking out to Justin Maunder in there as well. So good on you, Justin, on the Nick Gill, Justin's Killer Kindling. Oh, I love that name, Justin's Killer Kindling. I'll tell you what, there's a few fireplaces will need his Killer Kindling this winter, so let's hope he's selling plenty to pay for his racing. And if he's done his work right the last couple of weeks, he should have sold enough kindling to pay his entry fee here today alone, I would suggest. And if we look for another cool winter, maybe he's going to be right by springtime to come back.